Welcome to the IVM Podcast Network.
If you like the Drinks and Destinations podcast, which is an IndusVox media production, we also have other podcasts like the Stylogram. If you're looking for some stylish tips, you do tune into that.
You're listening to the Drinks and Destinations podcast.
So the other day, Samira and I walked up to this liquor store in Juhu, Bombay, and we wanted to buy a bottle of whiskey. Mm-hmm. When we walked up to the store, there were 10 people standing there, and they were, waiting to place their orders and everything. But the moment we stood there and we placed our order, and suddenly when we turned back, everyone was gone. You remember the incident, Samira?
Yes, and it was quite a surprise because first our battle was how we even going to get to the counter. And when we made it, and I blame you, Rojita, I think with your knowledge and everything, when you were asking like this brand for what price.
You think I scared them?
It is, I think still, I feel in our country a bit of an intimidating process, which we noticed because I feel they got intimidated and they were shocked at our confidence with such ease. We were standing in the middle of the day in Bombay at a liquor store, ordering what we want and picking out what we want. And
absolutely. Yeah. And I think almost everyone has gone through that weird experience in their lives, people who drink, and especially a girl. Things have been completely different in the last few years. I mean, I don't think any girl would ever go to a liquor store and buy a bottle of alcohol earlier.
Yeah.
But now it's possible somehow. So, in today's episode, we are going to talk about all that, how liquor buying experience has changed and evolved in the last few years in India. Welcome to the Drinks and Destinations podcast. And today we have with us a very special guest in our studio. His name is Satyam Savla.
Very good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Thank you for being in the studio today, Satyam.
Thanks for having me over.
And Satyam, by the way, he owns the Jubain Wines, the liquor store.
Very popular, I must tell you.
Yeah. And the store which has a huge contribution in actually changing the way we buy alcohol in the country. Satyam, tell us how exactly it started. When did it start?
So, just when I was giving my TYBCom exams, my focus was pretty clear. I wanted to start sitting at the store.
Okay.
And at that point of time is when we had actually just bought the property. So my dad asked me, what's the plan ahead after the TYBCom? I said, Dad, I'm sure I'm sitting at the store, no problem. That's how it all started. On some lines, the moment I graduated, probably we were the first store to be air-conditioned. The other one also was mine, but in terms of the look and feel of the store, it was unlike the normal shady-looking stores that used to be in way back in 15, 20 years back. Mm-hmm. So I think that is why we changed things quite a bit.
So were you the first ones who changed the look of a liquor store in general?
In fact, my other stores also were pretty decent looking. It's just that they were not known or they weren't as talked about. They were. There was one in Kandivali that we used to have, which was an air-conditioned shop. Only thing is the profile of people that come was very, very different to what Juhu comes at. I mean, in Juhu, you call it,
it's like a prime location.
It's prime location, plus I was sitting, so I could, talk a lot to my clients.
Directly.
Yeah, directly. So, a lot of people from Bollywood, Dimple Kapadia, all of them are good clients. Twinkle Khanna, all of them.
So they would just walk up to the bar.
Dimple Kapadia did. With Twinkle, I speak on the phone. With Saif Kareena, I speak on the...
you told me once that you have...
Yeah, Saif I speak to. Nice. Kareena, I not in directly touch with, but through Saif or through the Saki, one way or the other. But Fardeen Khan, Zayed, all, Bachchan.
So you're the official Bollywood supplier.
I know, you're
the
guy who's getting Bollywood drunk.
David Dhawan stays right behind. Feroz Khan used to stay right behind. So a lot of that kind of crowd. But it doesn't really matter. At the end of it, they're as simple as we are. So
everyone has their own favorite drink, isn't it? What is Twinkle Khanna's favorite drink?
Vodka, Grey Goose.
Oh, really? Yeah. A lot of Bollywood guys actually prefer vodka.
Yeah, vodka is my favorite spirit.
I'll tell you why, Rojita, because it gives you a dehydrated look the next day. So you won't
Really?
look bloated. I've like heard like models and anchors say that, like, if you say that, oh, I don't want to drink today, so they'll be like, oh, just have vodka, you look skinny and dehydrated the next day. Unlike a beer where your face will look a little bloated. So that's my wild
I was
guess,
under the
maybe.
impression that because vodka is clear and you could pour it in your glass and just have a little bit of ice or anything added to it, and it would look like a soft drink and no one would know.
Ah.
No, so my choices keep changing depending on the company. So I drink wine with our gang.
Wine
Not
gang.
otherwise. Vodka is my favorite party spirits. Beer doesn't need a reason. Whiskey I do for tasting.
Yeah, so
Nice.
it's basically everything.
Yeah.
So, did you notice, like, after your store went through the makeover, like, did it become more approachable? And especially, like, since we were talking about women, like, did more girls or women start coming up?
Yes.
It did.
Yes. Because, for me, right from the time I was in school, or maybe just after my 12th standard, I used to start going to my store in Kalina.
Okay.
So, there in a day, maybe you get one good Scotch customer, you feel happy. But all of them otherwise are walk-ins and picking up quarters and this and that.
Right.
So for me, it was a big change because I was selling something that was, in fact, one of my Kandivali stores still is.
I just want to ask, what did you tell your friends at school? That what are you doing after school?
No, not school really,
Okay,
but more
okay.
the college people all knew that.
Right.
Yeah, it was a grand opening. Almost going to be 17 years now, 17, 18 years.
Wow.
So. Yeah, so it was pretty much focused, as I said. And yeah, the customer profile was like here and here, that much of a difference. You could see that, and thankfully because of good education, the interaction with most of the clients used to be much on an intelligent note. I mean, I still catch up with my few clients. There were some expats. I went to London, wife is with Siemens, energy conservation and recycling and all that kind of business she heads. Husband is used to be with L&T, now again with Siemens, handling a $2 billion business, meeting up at a wine bar, my favorite wine bar in London that I coincidentally, so it so happened that being at the store, we discovered that I knew they were from UK, but it so happened that they used to visit Gordon's Wine Bar, and that's my favorite spot. Moment I land, before heading home, I just get to wine bar, few glasses of wine in, and then home.
Nice.
Nice.
So basically, being on the store also helps you in networking a lot of
Absolutely.
with a lot of people.
My business is more about relationships rather than just selling all the time, because one thing I've been probably blessed with is probably a good palate. So in terms of recommending, 95% of the time my recommendations work for most of our clients in terms of wine. That's where they.
Yeah, that's very important because
wine is all about that.
A lot of people come to the store and just ask for, which is a good wine to try or which whiskey should I be trying. So anyone who is interacting with the customer should know exactly what to recommend. Otherwise, it doesn't.
So, in fact, right now also, while I was on the way here, I was speaking to someone and, figuring out if we could use technology to replace this whole experience of buying in terms of wines and recommendation.
That would be a great idea.
So,
but we can't buy online because it's not allowed
What
in
I mean
India.
to say is, suppose if you went to the store and you want to pick up wines, you saw the store, the wine section is way inside, it's not really well merchandised.
Accessible.
Even merchandising, I think, because space is a big challenge at my Juhu store. So it will always remain.
One can walk through.
You can walk in. You can walk in. I have few expat clients who prefer, even if it's in the go down, they prefer walking into there and then selecting the wines.
Right.
But it's just that if I had the space, the kind of job I would do with it. You've seen my Shoppers Stop store.
Yes, I remember. We were just talking about it.
So that is what my ideal benchmark of a good store should be. It was like very plush, very elegant, very stylish.
And it had a tasting room as well.
My concept to what I would want to do out of it is more interesting, but it's just that if I consider it from a business perspective, I'm burning money.
Okay.
ROI probably is a
Maybe
bit
that
of an
was a
issue.
little way ahead of time, and
Exactly.
if you look at doing
Exactly.
something like that right now, that
Yeah.
would work.
But now the only problem is, the concepts are ready. The question is A, location, and B, how to pull the crowd. I mean, there was a lot of realization in terms of, learning rather, the areas we lack. So I could realize I can pick up good wines, but I can't go and market myself. So I can't use social media. I can't,
Yeah.
kind of do events, and it's not my part of the job.
Maybe you would need to hire someone to do that for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, these were learnings that Shopper Stop agreed that, the location was a little offbeat. Had it been at PVR, it would have driven the crowd mad. But in terms of Shopper Stop, it was a bit of an odd corner, that. But yeah, it was just a matter of learning.
Also, in terms of recommendations, I wanted to ask you, like, the 2 times that I've bought something for a friend, I've asked Rajita. But, and you say that you give your recommendations in terms of wine and champagne sometimes. But how informed is the staff, or do they go through a particular training or something like that? Because I've heard, like, people complain about not buying from a particular wine shop because the bottles, they keep them vertical, and little things like that. So is there any particular training that the staff would go through?
The bottle being kept vertical, yes, definitely it matters. Thankfully, at our stores, most of the stock is fast moving.
Okay.
It's pretty fast rotating. So generally, we've never had a issue with a corked bottle for the expensive
That only
wines.
matters if it's expensive wine
Expensive
and
wine,
it has cork in it.
90% of the
Screw caps
wines,
doesn't matter.
are screw caps today. So,
I'm talking in terms of, like, if I want to probably ask one of your staff for recommendations. So, how
my managers
equipped
would,
are they?
My managers would definitely see
Right.
what I'm doing exactly. So they'll ask you your budget, whether you want a red or a white. Are you specific about your grape, or do you just want to gift? And some basic questions. On the basis of that, they can just filter it out. Also, from my side, whatever I could do. In 2012, we did a round of tasting that was amongst the local wines. We couldn't do it for imported wines because the cost for the importer to bear is too big. So what we did is we accumulated all the possible white wine, red wines that were available from all the producers. We put them all grape-wise, put it on a blind tasting, selected the top 3. So what happens is, since it was a blind tasting, even I don't know what I'm drinking. So automatically the top 3 would get filtered. So from our side, we try our best to, not have customer a sad experience in terms of, at least the least it can be, is the wine should be drinkable, and, it could be palatable. So,
but they're all stored in perfect storage.
My stores are maintained at around 25, I would say.
Okay.
I mean, which in Bombay conditions is, considering it's decent.
So Satyam, tell us how the alcohol buying has changed in the last few years. Do you see that people are upgrading to premium brands these days?
Yes, definitely. I mean, there's a lot of money that's flowing into alcohol, definitely. So people earlier, had a specific preference for a Smirnoff vodka, and that's where Smirnoff boomed around probably 10-15 years back. In the time to come, when the spending powers went up, all of it moved to Absolute, and Absolute became the vodka to have until Grey Goose arrived.
Okay.
So now it's Grey Goose.
So now it's Grey Goose. So even at a price point of 6,000 rupees today, we end up selling 100 bottles of Grey Goose a month on an average.
Wow.
Now, Absolute, we end up doing around about, again, 150 at 2,500. But the impact is more on the Smirnoff, because 10-15 years back, I used to do over 300 to 400 bottles a month. Today, going by that, I do only 125 bottles of.
So people don't buy Smirnoff so much.
Not really.
Like they
Smirnoff
used
now either goes as your everyday drinking at home, or if it's a
like a pouring
upmarket party,
vodka, yeah.
if it's upmarket, then it'll go in cocktails. People won't even drink it straight.
Yeah.
So benchmark of a good vodka is become an Absolute or a Grey Goose. So if you have the spending power, you'll go for Grey Goose. Otherwise, Absolute is considered decent.
And what about other spirits like whiskey and rum?
Whiskey trending, definitely. A lot of people have moved past the black and the Chivas. There's a lot of awareness more on the single malt side. Definitely,
And especially the Indian single malts as well.
Yeah,
a lot of queries
definitely.
for them.
There are, in fact, good NRI clients who want to take back Amrut or
Paul John.
Nice.
Paul John is yet to gain traction. Will take some time, maybe 6 months to a
But
year.
Amrut has captured the market completely.
But right now there is a bit of an issue with the, I don't know, supply chain issue. But otherwise, Amrut is in demand. Yes.
And have you seen the scenario change, the kind of people who would come over the
profile of the buyers?
10, 15 years, I would imagine there would be more younger people coming up.
No,
to
definitely,
you now. Yeah.
definitely. You were asking me about a funny incident.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do in the mornings. Occasionally, if I'm at the counter, I am specific about not selling to minors specifically.
Right.
But if I find someone at 21 or so,
Yeah.
I hate to admit, but yeah, I do sell it to them at 21 because they rather pick it up from my store than from somewhere else. But there are times when if it's school-going kids,
Yeah.
then
So they do come up to you, school-going
oh
kids?
yeah, you don't know there was a sting
Oh,
either
gosh.
on Midday or on Mumbai Mirror, one of the two, where they covered 3 or 4 stores of Juhu. I was the only one who probably
Said no.
to them, and I asked them questions. Why are your kids here at 11 o'clock? So they said they're buying for their mom and dad.
Right. 11 o'clock
And
in the
there
morning.
was some kind of a sly smile on them, and it came onto the papers in another few
That
days
they were trying to do
boy.
a sting
Yeah.
operation. Wow, look at
as
that.
to what's happening.
Find
what's not
out
happening.
who's selling
Yeah.
and who's not selling.
And
Wow.
any more stories of like people?
I mean, the other stories are funny. I mean, how people get conned. I myself have been a victim twice at 2
Okay.
different stores. One of the times at the JW Marriott, one guy walked in and he said, "Sir, can you please send a boy along? I'll pay him in the lobby. 2 bottles of Shivas is what I need, and we have a recording or storytelling with some Anu Malik or something like that."
Okay.
The guy took my boy till the Marriott lobby. He said, "Theli de do, main abhi aata hu." Disappeared.
Took the bottles and went.
Yeah, this is I'm
How
talking about 8-10 years,
smart.
8-10 years back at my Lokhandwala store. What happened is, around the corner there is this Mira building opposite Mega Mall, and it's got entrance from one side and the
Yeah.
exit from the other
Yeah.
side. So they placed the order. The guys were waiting at the gate only. So moment they saw my guy, they took the car inside onto the porch of the building. Said, "Arey, give me the bottles and go and pick up your payment from the 9th floor." And they took an exit from the other. My guy goes upstairs, and
Oh God.
so those kind of things
Oh,
do happen.
that's funny.
Recently, it's happened to 2 or 3 retailers in Juhu. And everyone's been like, "Whoa, what happened?" I said, "We've probably had this thing all done a couple of years back."
So I wanted to ask one question. As per the Maharashtra law right now, you can't open a new alcohol shop in the city, right?
You can open, but they will not issue a license. It has to be bought from the existing market. So existing license holder is who can transfer the license in your name. And you can shift it at a location which is 75 meters away from a school or a temple or a college, etc. Kind of
So the
things.
number of liquor stores in the state remains the same. It
Yes.
can't increase
Yes.
from what it is. But
Yeah.
the ownership can be transferred from
Yes.
one person to the other.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's something that you need to...
But overall, the businesses within Bombay were dying at some point of time. So a lot of stores actually moved out of Bombay. But
But what are the challenges of actually running a liquor store in a place like Bombay?
it's very interesting. The operational overheads are increasing. The market today, because of the consolidation between, USL being bought over by Diageo, margins are dropping day in, day out. So, your cost overheads remain the same, margins are depleting. So, there's a big challenge there. And plus, it's led to a lot of monopolistic
Market
dictatorship.
practices,
Yeah, you can literally call it some kind of dictatorship as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a strong
You-
word.
because there are only 2 companies running the whole business.
and Pernod Ricard. Yeah,
they
so-
are probably 90-95% of the trade volume across India. So thereby, whatever they decide is the rule of the day.
And what about the excise issues or challenges in any...
See, compliance is one thing that has always been a concern.
you have to live by all that.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, you have to get over and done with.
Yeah.
You don't have a way out. So you just try to comply as much as possible. For things that you can't, you just manage.
And how many stores do you have right now?
3.
3 stores. Any plans of opening new stores?
Not till I have some few things. I do have few things lined up, but the expansion in terms of retail every unit you add on headache.
Yeah.
So till the time there is a software that can be seamless, integrate everything and bring it to the table or on one screen of how the store is performing, I've decided I won't add any stores. And plus, as I said, it adds headache. In the same amount of time used wisely, I can make equal amount of money in some other way.
Yeah.
You know my other businesses as well. So that probably takes only half an hour, 45 minutes of a day, and there is still money rolling in decent by just exchanging mails and just coordinating for half an hour, 45 minutes a day. So I'd rather do that than add on more stores and headache.
Also about like the future of liquor stores in India, are we going to see do you have any plans of some cool stores coming up where we can probably walk in with our trolley or baskets and
if you go to Bangalore, I think probably as a market they are more ahead than Bombay.
Okay.
Bombay has got probably I think one store in Lokhandwala.
There's
Living
Liquids also is there.
there.
Living Liquids has some 40 stores across.
Yeah, 35,
40 stores across Bombay. Yeah.
So, but in terms of walk-in, that is the only one, and then they have something at Palladium, but that's a very, very. It's not an experience, wow kind of an experience. But yeah, in terms of the products, you will be ultimately the same. It's just the Andheri store has a better this thing. Even my Lokhandwala store was there was a BMC issue that happened, but otherwise at that point of time 9.5 years back, so we opened in September 2007. In those days it was the most wow
it looked
store.
Beautiful. I remember you had a Diageo tasting room or something.
Diageo experience area. We had other companies also on top. In fact, it was so plush that I did my level 2 WSET in my store.
Wow.
Because it was like massive 400 square feet of open space.
Wow.
20 of us, we did a level 2 there inside a wine store looking at all
That's
the
interesting. In fact, I just recently read that Hyderabad has got its largest
wine store.
15,000 square feet or
Really?
something.
I don't know the size. I saw the photographs though.
So I think things are coming up and new stores are coming up, and hopefully the markets would also open up to such ideas and experiences.
Definitely.
But do you remember any of your best liquor buying experiences from all over the world when you travel? Anything that you would like to talk about?
So, I mean, the first time I ever got the experience of tasting wine, and then I didn't obviously buy, but it was that's how I got to know about Enomatic, which was a wine dispensing.
Yeah, and you guys had those
we had those machines. Yes,
I think
we had
7 of them
at
the tasting room.
So, no, 8 of them. 8 of them, yeah. So I was in New Zealand, Queenstown.
Okay.
So right in the heart of the city centre, that's where we were staying. At a stone's throw away was a wine bar, which must have had, I think majority of the wines were all New Zealand. Probably 80-90% of the collection. And you could have, I think, at least 60 to 70 wines as a taster sample. So all you do is just take a prepaid card, put it in the slot, press the pour, it gets gets deducted from your card balance. You can try it, and then you can.
And this is a store. It's not a bar that you're talking
about.
Yeah.
It's a proper store. It's a
That's
store.
Amazing.
Yeah. So that's where the whole concept of doing it with a tasting came up. Okay. And that's how we imported that machine, Enomatic machine, which is capable of even managing profiles of customers. So. There is a back end to this. There was a store in the US, right in Manhattan. What is that square?
Times Square.
Times Square.
Times Square.
In Times Square. I haven't been to New York, so sorry. So.
You have been to New York.
So in Times Square, in one of the buildings, there was this wine bar, which had 120 wines by the glass. 120.
Wow.
Yes. And now the way it would work is. You could go swipe your card, or just it was chip, so you just put your card. It would the one-time registration, the first time that you do, all the wines that you're tasting by the glass are automatically getting updated on your profile.
Oh,
wow!
All you need to do is just have a paper and just say, okay, I love this, or I did not like this, or this is so and so, so and so, so and so. You can just go back to the web page. on your profile, you just add on. So
What's the name of the place you said?
I forgot the name of the place.
Okay.
But they couldn't sustain it. Just imagine in a place like the US.
I could imagine this is like a huge logistical
Yeah.
nightmare.
And I was just going to say that
manage a
will we
place
see
like
that in India, but I think if in New York they couldn't keep
Yeah,
up
no,
with it.
No, but, I mean, your rents are a killer, all said and done. You know, so it being done in a, I somehow find the fine wines and more.
That was a brilliant place.
Now,
Yeah.
a place like that also had to shut down. That is
Yeah.
what the concept I would want to
that's
see.
something I really liked. I think just
So what's
to
the
tell our
concept? Yeah.
listeners, Fine Wines and More, the wine importing company, they used to have a tasting room and a beautiful retail store in Lakshmi Industrial Estate, Mumbai, Andheri West. And you could just walk into the store, you pick up your wines. They have these beautiful display of all the wines, very good offers, really affordable prices. Pick up the wine, and they also had a tasting room next to the wine store.
Okay.
And you could organize your tastings. You could come for tastings there because they would organize tastings every weekend. That was a brilliant concept,
Yeah,
and
that's a
unfortunately,
really-
the company who sold the entire operation to
So
someone else.
that is the only flip side of the business. Thankfully, today now we are agents for another machine where you can preserve your wine for almost 45 days to maybe 50 days also. We say 3 weeks officially, but we've had experiences with Oberoi and all, where a opened bottle of champagne was preserved by Achrekar, Harish.
Harish Achrekar, yeah.
He opened it after 45 days or more than that, and the pop was the same, the taste was absolutely the
Really?
same. Yeah.
Wow.
So this is something called La Verdava. So we're selling it to a lot of restaurants. Oberoi has already bought one machine. We're talking to Sula and told them to place it in their key outlets. This thing. So now I can actually go back to doing that concept without an Enomatic. Okay. But yeah, the only thing is space and rent is a killer to a business like this. Unless you have some very serious amount of people on your database who are regular buyers.
No.
I mean,
You still have mixed kind of buyers. People, some of them are like really loyal, and some of them have a different flavor profile and kind of premium brands that they would always look for. And there are some who just come for a quarter of a deluxe or a
so
premium.
the way it works, the
whiskey.
quarter guy is my bread and butter client.
Volume. That's where you get the volume, right?
He's my everyday guy, regardless of whatever happens, whether demonetization happens or not.
Or whether there is a lockdown in the city or
That's
whatever.
your man Friday.
Yeah. So and the good part is with the smaller guys, they are lesser hassles. They are more quick turnaround. So they in fact know how much the amount is. They will probably bring you that much change. They'll say a thing, put it on the counter, and then in less than 5
quarter guys.
seconds he's disappeared. At my Kandivali store, that is the case with the country liquor business. That is how it operates. You have such quick turnaround. Your stock arrives today, it'll be sold off today.
So what all country liquors do you have in your store?
No. So at Juhu, I don't.
In the Kandivali store.
It's only GM. GM
Okay.
is the brand that sells. So there's I think anise flavor, GM Soft they call it. Soft, Badi Soft. And there is a GM Santara. And there is a GM Coffee.
We should taste it next time when
No,
we
thanks.
are doing
I would they're lethal, Rajita.
Yeah.
I don't know.
even
if
I
we
don't
would-
have the courage to
Yeah.
actually taste those. It's,
Yeah, so.
But I would imagine them to be very popular because for the few times I've been to like a liquor store, I've seen those profile of people like really.
you have to
Yeah.
see the kind of experience usually people have in different other parts of India. Like if you
Yeah.
go to a place like Orissa
Yeah.
and the liquor stores there, they have these iron grills outside because obviously
Whoa.
you never know who is walking up to your store, and then sometimes people steal
I
from
can
the stores
imagine,
as well,
yeah.
and then. Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen, there's this one video that went viral about how things operate in Kerala.
Okay.
Apart from, she's mentioned the counter, even for the queue, they have
they have
these
like-
grills, so like how you wait at the
And the
airport.
temple or
Yeah.
Oh boy.
and people are jumping those
queues to go
queues
and buy
also.
alcohol.
Yeah, and it's madness. Kerala's utter madness with alcohol store opening. It's insane.
So
I've
compare
seen-
that to an experience which we had at, I'm sure you've also been to this place in World of Whiskies. the store which is there in all the airports and
Yes.
major airports in
In
Heathrow and
Heathrow I have
a couple of other airports that I have been to. Such a beautiful experience
Yes,
of walking up to
absolutely.
that store
Exactly.
and actually trying out some whiskies, and
Yeah.
it's so brilliant.
Apart from that, in the city of London, the Whiskey Exchange is another place that you should go for. Now again, they've got a very offbeat location under a train bridge.
Oh.
It's in the under the London Bridge station. You'll find these 20 feet wall, full of bricks, typically done in a very
Is it a new place?
No. Whiskey
Been
Exchange
there?
has been there. I mean, I have seen it at least 2008 is when I visited it. After that, I didn't want to because at times, if I need it, I just tell my partner, he books it online, gets it for me here. So that way.
Yeah.
But
Imagine the contrast, huh?
Yeah. So,
From Orissa to buying liquor in London.
and then there's a parallel market also that goes through, where you cook at your home. I mean, there's something called a Hath Bhatti.
Okay, what is that?
That's hooch, basically.
Yeah, the moonshine.
Yeah. So in mangroves that overlook Rajita's house, there are a few of them there.
Oh,
yeah,
we're
yeah.
talking about Andheri West. Look at that.
Yeah.
I mean,
And the funny part is excise guys can't even get there because it's all in a dump. You put your foot, you're
Mangroves,
like
yeah, you can't go
you're like 3
inside
feet
there.
down, 4 feet down your feet.
okay, all right. That's some secret I was not aware of.
It's
It's happening next to my
revealed.
house. Yeah. Oh, that's strange. Thank you so much, Satyam, for being on the studio today. And it was really interesting to talk about what's happening in the liquor retail scene and so how the experience of buying alcohol has changed, especially for women in the country.
absolutely. And I'm looking forward to some really cool and groovy stores in our
Hopefully.
near
hopefully.
future.
If the rules change for good, definitely.
Yeah.
The way things are going with the highway
we have a long
tragedies
way to go.
that's
Yeah, I
coming,
know. Now
it's
the
a big challenge even for the existing. Very dear friend of mine, he's got a store right in the heart of Lonavala.
Oh, and that's next to the highway?
It's bang on the old highway.
Oh, that's so sad.
And he's another good retailer like me. I mean, you will see a King George 5 moving, you will see a single malt moving at his
Wow.
store, in spite of him being in Lonavala, because all the weekend public is actually
Yeah.
picking up their stock.
And a lot of celebrities' second home is in Lonavala.
Yeah,
so obviously
so,
they're the ones who are buying those bottles. But
yeah.
unfortunately. So is he replacing the store in...
So, no, I mean, it is still in the air. They don't know which way it's going to go. So, the last I heard was anything that is in the municipal limits will be there. If you're otherwise, anything on the national highway or the state highway.
Yeah, so just if anyone doesn't know about it, now recently the government has passed a law as per which none of the alcohol stores can sell alcohol if they are next to the highway.
And
Well,
it applies to
I-
restaurants as well. Sorry.
And restaurants and hotels, 5-star hotels as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
That's to avoid the whole drink and driving concept,
Yes.
maybe?
Yes.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But who actually walks into a 5-star hotel and drinks and then goes back to driving
Oh,
on a
you'd be
highway?
surprised.
No,
Rajita.
that is.
Actually, there are a lot of
You'd
people.
be surprised.
That is-
That's the problem.
It's just that it gets highlighted when they bang the car.
Exactly.
But what about people who carry alcohol in their cars and then they drink and then drive? That's also
As long
happens,
as
right?
I think
only.
they're trying to curb that only, like at least like if you're on the highway and because everybody is in a festive mood
Yeah,
and
but
you're
it's
getting
like
out
a
of the
huge
city.
blow to the
Yeah.
industry.
I can imagine.
No, I mean, see, it needs to be done, but it's more about till the time the
We should be creating more awareness.
Attitude,
How suddenly it's
doesn't
done.
change. It will not help. Same applies to demonetization.
I was
Till
just
the
going
time,
to say that, like,
till
how
the time,
that happened.
our tendencies of not paying tax doesn't
Yeah.
go away. Till then, the black money is going to keep coming. I'm going to find 10 ways if I want to steal.
All right. On that note, we would like to say thank you to Satyam
Thank you
once
so
again.
much.
Thank you for being on the show today. And so we'll be coming back with another exciting episode next week. So stay tuned. You could like our page on Facebook. You could follow us on Twitter and Instagram. And you could also subscribe to us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Audio Boom. And you could also check us out on YouTube on the In This Box network. And so while all of us love our tipple, make sure that you drink responsibly. Bye.
Hey man, just help me out, man. I need some podcast, man. I haven't had a fix in a week. Just need some.
Don't you worry about it. I got podcast galore for you, man. Just go to ivmpodcast.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Thanks, man. I'm gonna check it out.